In this session, we are going to provide high-level overview of the Go.Data platform and also look at the persistent elements of the Go.Data user interface. Go.Data is a tool which is developed for outbreak investigation, focusing on collection of case and contact data, but also including laboratory data and contact follow-up data. One installation of Go.Data can be used to host as many outbreaks as necessary. You can install Go.Data as a server installation, or you can also decide to use it and install it on your personal computer or a notebook as a standalone installation of Go.Data. Again, one installation of Go.Data can host many outbreaks. Let's just spend some time to look at persistent elements of the Go.Data user interface. Language selector is located in the upper right corner, and you can add new languages from user interface. There is a dedicated role for to manage language file in Go.Data. There is no need to change the code, and if user has that permission, it's possible to download language file and also to create new languages and create translation for the newly created language. One installation of Go.Data can host many outbreaks. If you need to change and temporarily look at another outbreak, you can change it from this outbreak selector. On the left side, there is a menu, which is organized in two main sections. The upper section of the menu is related to collection of the data, and lower section of the menu is used primarily to manage configuration of Go.Data and also to do system administration features. Display of the data in Go.Data is organized in lists. They all look the same. They behave in the same way. If you hover mouse over any record on the list, that item will be highlighted in gray. And if you move mouse to the left or to the right, you can see additional features such as view, edit, and the ellipsis menu, which is displayed with 3 vertical dots, will provide you access to additional features which are specific for that list and where you can perform additional action for a specific record. The columns, headers in the list are clickable. If you click once, it's going to sort the list ascending, and if you click for the second time, the sorting will be done descending. The second row immediately after the column header is used for quick filtering, and if you start typing a couple of characters, you will be filtering list immediately to match your search criteria. Go.Data has two components. The web component, which is what we are seeing right now on the screen, and this is the component that you can install either as a server installation or as a standalone application on your laptop. Go.Data can be installed on a Windows operating system, and in addition there are also installer files which will allow you to install Go.Data on a Linux or Mac operating system. In addition, Go.Data also utilizes optional mobile app, and mobile app there are two versions of the mobile app for Android and for iOS, and mobile app is primarily focused on contact follow-up, but you may as well use it for case and contact data collection. Mobile app is used in conjunction with a web app, so it does not function independently. Let's spend some time to look at permission model of the Go.Data platform. When you install Go.Data for the first time, you will see that there are 9 default roles in the system. Roles are collection of permissions, and they are not mutually exclusive, and they are not incremental, which means that system administrator is not a summary of any of all other roles that we have in Go.Data software. With this, you can allow that users have specific function on the Go.Data platform. For example, you can have a person who is going to manage user accounts, and that person does not necessarily have access to any of the outbreak data. One user can be assigned to one or more roles in the system, and management of the roles is typically done by the system administrator. In addition to providing users with a specific role, it's also possible to restrict user access to a specific outbreak or outbreaks. So if you have 40 outbreaks in one instance of Go.Data, you can provide users only to see 2 or 3 outbreaks from the whole pool of outbreaks which are hosted in one instance of Go.Data. Let's look at some other components of Go.Data configurability. First of all, location data. Locations in Go.Data are organized in a tree-like structure. When Go.Data was designed, it was designed with a concept in mind that it's not designed for a specific disease and nor for a specific country. Therefore, it was difficult to predict what will be the default structure or subnational division in one country, and therefore all the data are being organized in a tree-like structure. To see one example, we can search for a place, and then we can see that that place is level number 4 in the hierarchy, starting from a country, going to province, to region, and then to a place. There is no limitation in number of levels that we can have in Go.Data for locations. If there is a need to organize locations in such a way that you may need even to create hospital as a location or even a floor of one hospital as a location, that's possible to do. By default, we start from admin level 0, which is a country, and then subsequent levels are on a country-specific basis, and they can be organized depending on where we operate and depending on the subnational division of a specific country. We can look at some examples that we have here. So if we want to view more details for one location, we are going to click on the icon. This one is showing the second level for selected location. And if we click again, we are going to see the next level within this location. And as we go to other levels, we can see that at the lower level, we also have the possibility to capture latitude and longitude of a place. So that is the centroid of a place. And any case and contact who resides in that location will automatically inherit locations of that place. That said, Go.Data will also allow you to override default coordinates with the actual coordinates of a case or a contact. The second component in Go.Data configurability is with reference data. Each time when Go.Data users add new information about cases, contacts, or lab data or the follow-up data, some of data fields are organized in a form of a drop-down menu. Values in drop-down menus are derived from reference data. Reference data are managed from a single page where we list all reference data, and subject to user permission and role, user can either add new reference data, edit existing ones, and we are going to see an example of that. Let's look at occupations which exist in Go.Data. Just as a reminder of a consistent behavior, if we hover over occupation and we move mouse to the left or to the right, we are going to access additional features for that row. We are going to view occupations. And here is the list of current occupations in one instance of Go.Data. We can change appearance of values in the drop-down menu by changing their order of appearance. In addition, we can also add color coding for each of the occupations or any other reference data which is being used in Go.Data. And we can also use icons and associate icons with certain occupations. The usability of icons for occupations is most visible when we generate chain of transmission, because we will be in a position to create chain of transmission and show occupation of cases and contacts in that chain of transmission by displaying icons. Some of reference data are system values. Those which have system value flagged turned to yes cannot be changed because they drive some of the flows and procedures in the Go.Data application and as such cannot be altered. We can look at another example of reference data. Contact follow-up status. And it can be follow-up completed, lost to follow-up, or under follow-up. We can decide to arrange these values where under follow-up will be number 1, follow-up completed will be 2, and lost to follow-up can be number 3. This is one example where these values are system values, and as such, even if we decide to modify, we will not be in a position to change their label. But what we can do is to change the color coding or to associate an icon with this value. Each block in all records of Go.Data as a persistent behavior has information on when was record created, at what time, who created the record, when was it last modified, and what was the date and time of last modification. Another consistent behavior is that if you try editing a record and you navigate out to another part of Go.Data, you will be prompted if you want to leave that page, and by doing so, you are going to lose any changes that you have done on the page. We are going to respond here with yes. And that will take us back to the list of reference data.